Hi, Di here from Loud and Local. Loud and Local is dedicated to promoting, supporting and educating small business in the greater Springfield community. This week we're promoting a photography business. Fred McKie is a commercial photographer who works with small business from mum and dad businesses right through to multinationals. I caught up with Fred to hear a little bit more about his business, Fred McKie Photography, and also to get his number one tip for small business. Welcome, Fred.
Thanks, Di. Nice to be here.
Yeah, you too. So, Fred, you're a photographer.
I am.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about your photography business? You know, what it is that you do, any specialties that you have, etc.
Yeah, sure. I'm a commercial photographer, so it's all basically aimed for businesses and helping their marketing. I do everything from corporate portraits through to architectural project photography, through to advertising campaigns that go on billboards.
Oh, that's fascinating. So you
Yep.
work for the bigger companies, do you?
Yeah, I've had some big clients for sure, but I work for everyone from small businesses right the way through to certainly I've worked for national and multinational companies.
That's good. So do you do any personal sort of photography?
I do. I think photography is obviously an art form as well, and I think there's always a bit of an artist inside each of us photographers. So look, my passion in terms of that is probably landscape photography mainly, and a bit of architectural photography as well, just for myself.
Oh, how wonderful. So why are you a photographer?
I think I've been a creative all my life in one form or another, and this is kind of just the next chapter of that for me. I've been a professional photographer for about 4 years. Before that, I used to be in newspapers, not as a photographer, but as a reporter, then a designer and sub-editor. So I guess the page design that kind of really helped train my eye and created that kind of visual content creator in me as well as the written content that I used to be. So I just love creating. That's the main thing.
That's a very important skill to have if you're a photographer, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
So how long have you been out on your own running your own photography business?
Yeah, it's been about 4 years now. As I said, prior to that, I was in a newspaper career. But I launched my business because I wanted to help other businesses as well, and I felt that I had something to offer. So,
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So, what do you love the most about your business?
I think exactly what I just said, to be honest. I think it really is helping other people. I've got a skill set that not everybody has. I know these days with digital and everything, a lot of people think they're photographers, but there's a big difference between a snapshot and a very carefully crafted image. So, I just love to be able to go in there and help businesses, I guess, take their marketing to the next level, or for people like architects that are just trying to showcase their projects on their website. Just create something really beautiful. Turn the ordinary into the extraordinary.
Okay, so marketers, so marketing is a big part of it. So would you sort of collaborate with marketers from time to time to sort of help bring marketing campaigns to fruition?
Yeah, absolutely. So marketing companies, even digital design companies, people like that, we can collaborate with. I've certainly been called in by agencies. I've done some work here in Brisbane for an agency based down in Sydney. So they basically got me on board because I was a local that knew the area. They loved my photography, and they basically just kind of gave me a quick brief and said go for it. And it's always great to collaborate with, as you say, other creatives as well.
Mm-hmm. So would we have seen your photos anywhere?
Possibly. It depends on whether you've kind of taken notice of billboards, I guess. They've been on a couple of billboards around Brisbane and Ipswich. So there was one a couple of years ago that was shot for Ipswich Girls Grammar School. That was a billboard on a couple of locations, but one of them was on Ipswich Motorway. I've had a billboard recently for Montville Getaways that was in Fortitude Valley. So it depends on where you've seen those, I guess. You may not have, but certainly plenty of traffic going past both of those. So. Beyond that, if you've been kind of keeping up with what Springfield Land Corp's been doing, one of their recent brochures had my image on the cover that was showcasing the GE building as well as Springfield Tower and Polaris. So I guess the burgeoning CBD. And look, it's certainly in other areas as well, but trying to recollect exactly where you may have seen them is probably a bit tough on the spot.
That's not a problem, because I think I've seen two of your photos.
Oh, great.
So that's good. So, talking back about your business again, if
Yep.
you started again, is there anything that you would do differently?
There probably is. I think the main thing for me, just going into business from the background I had, and I guess a fairly wide skill set. I can do my own design and things like that. But I think the main thing would be to probably call on other people that are experts in their fields a bit more. I probably spent a lot of time doing my own design and handling my own marketing early on, and possibly would have been better to outsource that. So I'd certainly say that that you're probably better off really calling in the experts in their field and sending the work their way. They'll probably do a much better job. Something you can do okay, they're going to do great. So that'd be the one thing. And certainly I see that with photography quite a lot. That, as I say, a lot of people think they're photographers these days. It's something that we've all got a camera in our pocket on our phones. So and I do see that a lot, that people with their businesses will kind of take snapshots that they're okay to kind of share on your personal Facebook page, but probably not really representing your business in the best light. So that's a good example of that as well.
Yeah, just watch that you don't wear too many hats and take your way from your core business.
Indeed, and if you do have a bit of a varied skill set, it's very easy to fall into that trap.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what would be your number one tip for anyone thinking of starting their own business or possibly running their own business now? From a business perspective, what would you suggest to them would be a really good tip?
Look, it's probably not about running your business as such, but I would say, in terms of branding and in terms of your business ethos, I would say be authentic. I think that's really important, particularly in the current day. We're all bombarded with advertising messages left, right and centre, day in, day out. So I think people really are attracted to authentic brands. And I think, if you try to fake it, people see through it in an instant. So I would say definitely be yourself, be authentic, and build your brand around that.
I'd have to agree with you. I think people are seeing through all the fake marketing stuff that's out there, and they are really looking for authenticity, aren't they?
Absolutely, and look, bring that back again to photography. I mean, it's again a trap that people fall into is whether it's themselves or whether they do hire a graphic designer or a web designer or something, and they pull stock images, and stock images have their place, but you're probably better to invest in a photographer or a videographer, somebody like that, to come in and actually shoot something that is going to be authentic and tell your story. Yeah,
absolutely. So how can we find out more about your business? Where are you located? What's your phone number, etc., or web address if people are looking to want to contract with Fred McKie Photography?
Look, I'm located at Education City in Springfield Central. So I'm in the World Node Centre building, level 5. But I guess all my contact details are on my website, so that's probably a good point of call for people. That's www.fredmckiephotography.com.au, and McKie is spelled MCKIE. Jump on there, have a look. In photography being a visual medium, that's probably a really good starting point for people. My portfolio's on there. You can see the sorts of photography I do. If anyone out there is kind of keen to find out how photography might be able to help their business, by all means give me a call. More than happy to meet with people and just run through how I might be able to assist, and whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, it doesn't really matter. I think you really need to kind of have a look at what's on your website, and I'm more than happy to do a complimentary audit of that as well, what your existing marketing images are, and what's working, what's probably not working for you, and why that would be. More than happy to do that. And as I say, with my background as well in the media, My role as a designer there was actually choosing images, so curating images, I guess, and working out, what image is going to really work for the context that you're using it for. So I'm happy to use that and offer a small complimentary audit and, as I say, run through with people exactly why they should possibly consider some other images. And look, there could be some people out there that are going to have great images, and I'll let them know why they're great. More than happy to do that. So my number, if people do want to give me a call and maybe go through that process, is 0435 018 890.
That's good. So a complimentary audit. So you'll go through their website, you'll look at their images, see what's working, what's not working, and give them some feedback.
Absolutely.
And all for a $0 cost.
All for $0. And it doesn't need to just be their website either. If they want to meet with me and give me some marketing materials, whether it's brochures or whatever, happy to look at that as well and kind of explain why something might work and might not work. And it might actually be a great image that they're using. They just might be using it in maybe the wrong way as well. So.
Oh, well, that's good. So people can either ring you on your number that you just said before, or they can go to www.fredmckie, FREDMCKIE.
That's right.
Photography,
yeah.
.com.au.
That's correct.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, thanks, Fred.
No worries
it's been
at all.
really enjoyable interviewing you for Loud and Local. I really hope that some people take advantage of that free offer you've got going.
Thanks, Di. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.